Hi. My wife and I had a fabulous day of motorcycling today, the afternoon. We had some nice, mostly dry weather, hit some rain, some high winds, and we did some of the most challenging roads I think I've ever ridden on as we got to the western tip of Donegal. And but it was fantastic. So I came back and I watched some clips from Donald Trump's uh, ridiculous uh, engagement there with Kamala Harris, and I wrote a little song for you. So I thought I'd do one while I'm here. Dear Donald, I'm concerned you lost your mind while I've been gone. Last night, the whole world learned as you stood yelling from your lawn about how folks are eating terriers. Seems you think there's nothing scarier, and it should make voters warier of whatever drugs you're on. Poor Donald, jeez, pretty concerning to see somebody that's lost it. Hey, it's Squirrely Prepper. Hey, thanks so much for joining. And let's see, we have RSH 793 in Interrupcy and Stargazer Elite. Hey, and Kevin. Well, hello. Fantastic. Frank, that's fantastic that you joined me here. Um, yeah, it's pretty neat to be able to be here in Ireland and do a little bit of a live show. I've never tried one before. I'm gonna see if I can get my head out the window where of our sort of bed and breakfast. I'll show you the little view of the harbor here. Let's see. I'm gonna switch this around, and a lot of fantastic fishing boats there. It's a great harbor. The poorest beleaguered members of the Spanish Armada ended up here. Uh, and then most of them died shortly after. I got to turn this back. So, I can't talk with you, but I can see what you're writing. So that's pretty neat. Um, yeah, we had a fantastic day of motorcycling today. A few hairpin turns up in a mountainous area that were a little scary to where you almost come to a complete stop. You switch absolute directions while climbing a hill, and but we're still alive, which is really good because I just hate dying on the highway. So anyway, it we're kind of getting ready. Tomorrow we're going to head off up to Northern Ireland. We got a fairly good ride, probably in the morning. And today I was pretty excited. I went to a barber shop and I was getting pretty disreputable looking because I didn't bring any shaving equipment really for myself. So there was a young guy there. He wasn't the regular barber, and he was pretty tentative about shaving my face. It was actually pretty funny. But I told him he did a good job. I was happy with it. That's all I needed. And I touched up a little bit at home. He seemed, some of these old guy hairs he was afraid to mess with. I think he thought they were enchanted. So it's odd to chat to people that I can't hear from back from you. But are we going to go to the place where the quiet man was made? I don't think we are. I think I'm going to just try to be quiet here by myself every now and then my wife will just imagine that I'm the quiet man. Uh, my wife is the one to be commended because she's doing the scariest part, which is sitting on the back with absolutely no control. And yes, have a Wiccan woman, have a grand time and a lager for me. Pretty much every night we end our day by going. There's a nice little bar down the street from us here in Killybegs. I love that name. It's a fantastic name for a city. I like to call it Killybegs or Silly Pigs. And Killybegs has had great food and we had fantastic fish and chips tonight. And then on the way back to our B&B, then we stop and we have a beer. Colleen has a cider. And life has been actually pretty spectacular right now. So uh, we quite enjoying it. We got to hear some awesome Irish music when we were in Athlone at a pub that's been around in the same place since about 900 AD, and we've had some few Guinnesses along the way. And kissing the Blarney Stone, my wife has assured me I have no trouble with the gift of gab thing, so I probably wouldn't be doing it. Actually, might be dangerous, and they might not even allow me. Um, yeah, and some people talk about Squirrely Prepper talks about the enchanted old lady whiskers. Um, it's a it's a regular fact of life, you know. We just accept those things. So anyway, this is it's been a real adventure. This last place that we ended up in, we're in the very upstairs of grand old house. I think we're in the servants' quarters, and I realized that all of the servants were the height of my wife because she just walks around here like nobody's business. I've almost knocked myself out probably 15 times. I keep forgetting that there's a beam overhead as we get into bed. I forget there's one on the other side when I go to open the window. In the bathroom, I can stand and pee only because there's a roof window right above the toilet. But the problem is that when I turn around, I forget there's a beam behind me there. So I'm kind of worried that after the trip, if I hit my head enough, I'll end up like, I think that's what happened with Donald Trump, perhaps. Um, Today, I took pictures to prove my theory that the reason so many of the Irish were short was because the taller ones all killed themselves on these short little doorways. We went to this um, historical village today, and Colleen would walk in and out of those doors like nothing, and I had to be warned every time. And then I took one picture where you can just see me from like here down, and because the rest of my head is above the door head jam there. So, and then Dr. D talks about I love the showers they put in. Usually doing the shower in here, I don't think I've ever seen one that was that narrow. It's basically like getting in a coffin, and you slide the things in. Um, you can't actually move once you're in there, so you have to just be content with just being totally still and spraying yourself and hoping that it works out. You know, so you can't actually lift your arms once you're inside the shower because there's not room for that. So, so if you want to get your feet really clean, you have to stand on your head at first, and then have someone close the door for you so they can get sprayed. So anyway, it's fantastic to see you. Oh my God, somebody's got Christina Turner's dad's cousin is 6'8". Yeah, I can't imagine what. I have a friend that's about 7'4", and I can't imagine what he would do here. He'd have to be on his hands and knees crawling around inside the apartment the whole time. So um, anyway, who's my favorite Beatle? Um, I guess. I, it would have to be between Paul and Ringo. I like Ringo's approach to life for one thing, but and I like Paul's songwriting. So anyway, this is kind of fascinating. To get to see a little bit more conversation than usually. Let's see. My great grandfather was from Kalmar, Sweden, and apparently they still have 100-year-old small houses with grass growing on the roof. Yep, we have grass growing in the rain gutters out here. And I told Colleen, I said, I might go out and just try to clean those because I'm so used to just working on a house. I very seldom just come and just sit around at one. So, um, anyway, it's been great telling you about my head injuries here. And I hope you found that fascinating. And uh, I got some extra bumps now. So anyway, my wife's sitting there chuckling about it because uh, she's not worried what happens to my brain, thinking that it's already most of the damage is already well done. So thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to get going now. It's almost sleepy time. Have I ever been to North Carolina? Yep, on the motorcycle. My wife and I did some traveling down there quite a few years back, but it's been a while. So thanks again for joining me. I'm pretty honored that you would do this on such short notice. And barring any real severe head injury, I'll be back with you pretty soon. Thanks. Take care. Bye bye.